So what were you doing before this transition? What was your full-time job? Oh, and I want to get into like, all right, I imagine everything didn't lift right from there. There's probably a little challenge coming out of that before you kind of found your way, right?
Oh, and a total challenge to the ego mostly. For those that don't know, Ricky and I got to know each other over about like 2 years ago through the relationship that you had with Foundry at the time.
Yep.
And I was with a company called Acquia, and I ran partner marketing and field marketing at that org. And I'd been with them for a cumulative 12 years between two different stints. And like many, I experienced a layoff in December of last year. And I, at that time, could not fathom going back and trying to do the same job that I was doing. I don't know why, but I had to do something different. It's just kind of in my nature. And I've had a 20-year relationship with yoga. And I just
Mm.
thought, you know what? I'm going to go do something for me. I'm going to invest in me. I'm going to do this teaching. I'll take some part-time jobs just to kind of supplement and give myself a break, give myself some breathing room. And I realized not only in the process of teaching yoga that actually, not only do I love this, I'm somewhat decent at this and it fills my cup up. You got to see a little bit today where people can walk into a class and their shoulders are hunched and there's like a cloud, of like modern world or work or family or whatever entangled emotional mess they have coming into the space. And then when they leave, lighter, brighter, smiling, like we had a bunch of dudes today that like stuck around and were laughing and chatting.
Oh
And
yeah.
it was so different than how they entered. Like, I actually love this. And
Yeah.
it's totally fed this inner purpose for me over the last 6 months since becoming a teacher and then seeing what sticks against the wall. We pulled this ground of good guys together after just a couple of meetups in the park. And we were like, I think there's something here and it's really meaningful for us to bring men together. And also over that transition, I just kept saying yes to everything. I would say yes to contract jobs. I would say yes to, invitations for retreats, say yes to side hustles, you name it, just because we live in a material world. I am a material girl and you got to get the cash flowing sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's been a really interesting last year, both from layoff to now teaching part-time and then also being a fractional partner leader. So I still kind of get to keep both feet in both sides of the camp.
So let's talk a little bit more about that because I
Yeah.
know I hear that term coming up a lot and more people are doing that. So what does that look like specifically for you?
Yeah. So the fractional world was an effort for me to understand my boundaries and my needs. The last corporate experience that I had, they got all of me. I bled blue. I was so into the culture. I think we've all kind of had
Yep.
those
Oh
experiences
yeah.
at younger stages in our life. You with Foundry, me
Yep.
with Acquia, and no disrespect to them, but I got out of that experience and I was like, whoa, what else do I have? I'd worked from home in a small town. I hadn't made community. I hadn't really made friends. And so that shift and that prioritization to people really helped me to get to this place where now my relationship to the startup and the B2B world is very defined. You get the best of me for what you have of me. It's very
Hmm.
defined in scope based on what you need and what I can offer. And I'm just so excited about the arrangement that I've had. It allows me to continue to fulfill this wellness and purposeful Dharma kind of side of my life. And it's also helped me to keep my toes in the water around AI. And so I'm like looking at the engineering of the human body from the yoga side,
Yeah.
looking at engineering from AI and what people are doing. And I get to do it part time. So as a company that is young and starting and raising funds like actual AI, I run their partner program and establishing their partner program. It's very defined. I get to give my best to them around the scope of work that we've agreed to, and we don't really have creep. I mean, I think we all can remember like the 9 to 5 experience
Hmm.
where you have OKRs, you have a set of deliverables, but there's all these extras that come on. And I think fractional is kind of the future, especially when you think about AI. AI is making us 20% more productive, 20% more efficient, however you want to measure it. And I'm personally of the belief that when AI is freeing up space in your life, you should maintain that for better life balance, for better wellness of yourself, because that means you're better for your family, better for your community, better for the company that you work for. And fractional life has allowed me to do that. I feel like I've got a co-pilot that works alongside of me, and I get to test myself, new skills, new boundaries, new areas that I haven't been exposed to before.